We've said it before and we will say it again. You ain't got a business if you ain't got a client. Not good England, not good grammar, but this episode is about those who are looking to get their first client. Kayla, Malss, hello.
Hello. Let's go first 10 clients.
First 10 clients.
Yeah, we can do better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you get your first 10 clients? So you've put without ads. So what's your vibe for this episode?
Yeah, I think this is a really good one if you're just starting out in your business, or perhaps you need another 10 clients perhaps, and you might not have the budget to be investing in ads. Not all of us do. So I thought this would be a really good topic to get back to, I guess, the foundations of, it's a little bit marketing, it's a little bit outreach, just like business basics.
What I would also probably say is a addendum, if that's a word that they use in this century, you might be up and running already. How to get your next 10 ideal clients.
Ideal clients.
And
good.
I think, you know, it's that dance. When you first start your business, what's your ideal client? I don't know, legs, heartbeat, need anything to get money through the door. It'd be cool if you started to really nail down. And, you know, I spent a lot of time in the Glen James business plan helping people really work out what they're doing. So we just have to be clear on, and this isn't even in the list of gold that you've got here, Kayla. I reckon we need to be clear before we do anything. Like we say, oh, let's get our first 10 clients.
Yep.
Well, okay, what type of clients? If you're a lawnmower, do you want to be mowing lawns in Mossman or Mittagong? Now,
I'm not local, so
no,
I don't
what's
know
the
what that
Brisbane
means.
one? Clayfield or Caloundra? Is Caloundra or
Both kind of nice.
Caboolture? I don't know.
Yeah, Caboolture.
Whatever.
There you go.
Like,
Clayfield
are
or
you?
Caboolture.
Do you want premium, top end of the market, high quality, high service, high price?
Yeah.
Or do you want some volume, low cost, in, out? And I think that's really important to know. Whether you're a butcher, baker, candlestick maker, who are you serving? My name is Glen James and joined by Kayla Malss on This Is Business. Let's talk getting your first 10 clients or your next 10 clients. Let's do it right now. All right. Kayla.
Have we completely derailed this episode
I
by
think so.
starting with
I think so.
working out who your ideal client is?
Well, I think that's just hygiene, isn't it?
Yeah. Where do you start with that?
Well, for me, no, I think we go to your first point.
Okay.
Talk to us about, you know, before you do anything.
Have an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
So work out what you do, who you do it for, which I guess is that ideal client,
Yeah.
and why you do it. And I will give a little bit of a shout out to one of our previous episodes with Chelsea Pottinger.
Pottinger, yeah.
Pottinger?
Pottinger.
Okay, Pottinger. Sorry if I mispronounced your
yeah,
name,
I always
Chelsea.
forget.
Episode 205, Nailing the Pitch. We go into depth with how to create an elevator pitch, so that's a really good resource. So listen to that.
Oh, just give us the TLDR of what her advice is around nailing the pitch.
Her biggest thing was meeting your customer where they're at.
Yeah.
So rather than pitching what you do like too high level or keeping it too general, really customize it to the person you're talking about. So I guess that goes back to who is your ideal client, what are their pain points, what do they need from you, and cultivate your elevator pitch around that.
So we just got into an elevator. I'm like, hey, how are you? And, you know, I've just pressed, we're on the 15th floor. We both pressed ground. You got 15 floors or 15 seconds. Hey, what do you do?
I help service-based businesses generate more leads, sell more tickets, and get more bums on seats.
Interesting. That's cool.
What about you?
Oh, I turn spenders into savers.
What does that mean?
Well, I help people who maybe spend more than they earn or live week to week or are stuck in a debt cycle, get out of that and just stop living week to week within the next couple of pay cycles.
Love it. Well, this is my stop. I got to go. It was really lovely to meet you.
Nice knowing you. I'm actually going to keep going to rock bottom.
Yeah.
So I think that's, if we think of a couple of things just to kind of tease this out, what you do, who you do it for. If you are, because I really want to help the people that are in the trenches. You might be a lawnmower, a plumber, you might be, fulfillment business or whatever. So one thing that I did when you said you got to go where your people are at, notice I said I help turn spenders into savers.
Yep.
So I'm really good talking to other people who are like me. Like, I spend lots of money.
Yep.
Oh, how do I get on top? So I know I'll have the best type of response if I'm dealing with someone. I'm not the money guy. If I'm like, I'll tell you how to be the most frugal person and promo code hack your way to financial success. Ain't me.
Yep. Even if you were to say something like, I help people save money or whatever. If you're a spender, you don't want to save money. You want to spend money.
That's right. But you're not a spender, right?
No,
Most spenders know they want to be a saver. I wish I could save money, but I just can't. So that's why I help turn spenders into savers.
Yeah, yeah.
And, if you're the lawnmower, I help time poor people's homes look great or I don't know, it's just you've got to have a differentiation hook that gets people's attention.
Yeah. And I think with the elevator pitch, don't overthink it and try to be too literal or too detailed. It is kind of nice if it is a little bit vague to then prompt more questions. Oh, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
So then...
But also you don't want to go too I align the chakra of wealth to the balanced
depends
equilibrium.
who you're talking to.
Yeah,
that could really resonate with someone.
True, that's right. Zing, you got to know who you're talking to. So that's number one. What's your pitch? What do you do? And that ideal client.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Once you've got that sorted, I think that one of your next steps could be reaching out to your network with a mini offer. So if your business is absolutely brand new, you have no customers yet, what is something that you can offer to maybe friends, family in exchange for a testimonial or a referral or just something so it's a win-win. So they get a cheap product or service that they need. You get a testimonial or something in return that helps you grow your business.
And I will say, I really believe that everyone has an online marketing business now. By the way, I cut lawns. By the way, I'm a plumber. By the way, I install curtains. By the way, because everyone's going online.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the amount of businesses just renovating or building this warehouse, and I had a legal issue the other day and I emailed a lawyer, like in Newcastle, because I needed a price for something, filled out the web form, nothing back for over 2 weeks. Like, what are we doing?
Yep.
Some companies I reached out to get some curtains made for the studio and I sent 3 inquiries out direct on people's websites, no reply.
That's really bad.
Like, don't whinge and bitch and moan that you can't make money or get clients.
When you're not even responding, yeah.
It's easy. Return phone calls.
Yeah.
It's not rocket surgery.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
And if you can return, whether it's a return email or a phone call, within the same day.
So
as soon as possible.
What I do, so my Sort Your Money Out website and Money Podcast Get Help. Once people reply, I put a responder in.
Yeah.
Thanks, I've received your message. I will get back to you. Guess
in 24 hours? 48.
No. It is 24 hours.
Okay.
But I do the razzle dazzle. I will get back to you within 8 business hours.
Okay.
So that gives you the grace that it's 24 hours.
Okay.
And if it's a Friday afternoon at 4 p.m, I've got all day Monday.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. So it's just setting, man, that's an episode in itself. And we might write this down, how to train your dragon. Talked to my little cousin about that the other day.
Yeah, my little brother just watched that recently.
It must be new at the movies or...
It is, yeah.
Like how to train your clients. Train them how you operate from day one.
Yep.
Anyway, so you're saying, yeah, hey friends, as you know, I'm starting this business. I've got an opportunity. I've got 10 spots available.
Yep.
I want to legitimately do a discount because I need to get started. But that's that honesty as well.
Yeah.
I need to get started. I'm offering this package.
Yep.
And if you refer someone once you're happy, thank you.
Yeah, I'll help you out one day too.
Yeah, because word of mouth and referrals goes a long way. And that's why I think one of the episodes we've done recently, there's power in just asking question.
Yeah. Yeah. And I find with this method as well, if as much as we love to talk about automating things and, using technology and whatnot, a personalized DM on Instagram or an email or find those 10 people who you think will actually go ahead with the offer and be a person, speak to a human to human, and just talk to them and explain that you're starting a new business. You'd really love their help. Don't try to automate it too much, otherwise.
But also the problem is and this is where a lot of us can struggle, read the room as well. If you sort someone out and you're like, oh, that was good, and they're like, this person's the biggest idiot and they've stuffed this, don't be like, oh, can you introduce me to...
Yeah.
But that's
Use
the whole
common
thing,
sense.
asking, do a good job, and then so for example, if you wanted to, I've got a business, I specialize in cleaning medical centers.
Okay.
That's what my business is. So I've gone to my local medical center, I've talked to the practice manager, they're responsible for the contracts. Usually in different industries, practice managers will know other practice managers.
Yep.
Club or RSL presidents or CEOs will know other club RSL. So if you do a really good job at the medical center cleaning overnight, you could say to the practice manager, hey, do you know any other medical practices that you could introduce me to?
Yep.
Not get them to call me, that you could introduce me to.
That's a really good point. Not leaving it up to customers to come to you.
Because they're not. People are busy.
No one owes you that either.
No, that's right. So, yeah, that's good. So, mini offers, reach out to your network. Talk to us about putting yourself out there online, Kayla, point 3.
Yeah, so I know a lot of you might not want to hear this. It's a bit uncomfy, but it is worth it. Putting yourself out there, depending on your industry, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, it works. I can say it works because I do it and I get leads from it. It works. It is worth the momentary discomfort of putting your camera up and talking to camera for a bit, because you can reach such a wide audience, you can connect with people, you can build a community, you can generate leads.
Yeah, I think but make sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date.
Oh, for sure. Even your TikTok profile and your Instagram profile. Make sure all of that, you have a link in bio, make sure you have your bio set up, even little things like if you're a baker in Brisbane, make sure baker in Brisbane is in your username or your bio or whatever. So, yeah, make sure everything's optimized.
Yeah, I think that's really good, because we're all running online businesses.
And I'm sure this is a good example, actually. Yeah. I'm looking for a new hairdresser. If you're my current hairdresser, I love you, but please don't listen. Turn it off now. I was looking up on Instagram and TikTok, hairdressers in Brisbane that do a certain treatment or whatever. Right. Thanks to SEO with TikTok and Instagram, I have found a new hairdresser. So people are actively searching for your service and your product.
Yeah, and I'd say when you're doing stuff online, and I've learned this, you've got to do dedicated content for the platform. We're primarily a podcast. However, we cut up clips of the podcast for YouTube because people might not want to sit there and do a 50-minute thing, but they will watch an 8-minute clip.
Yeah.
So I think you really have to read the room with what you're using and the methods that you're using. Sure, LinkedIn, it could be more for corporate or professional. But honestly, if you are and I know it's hard because, like, I get it. I get it more than anyone. I know it's hard out there. You're busy and all that. But if you were a painter and you did homes and you're struggling to get work, get your iPhone or buy a second iPhone, get a tripod, and just do a time lapse of every job and put it up there.
Yeah, there are really easy ways to create content. And I think the hardest thing with a lot of business owners is honestly just prioritizing it and getting started.
Yeah.
Once they get into the mindset and into a bit of a routine, it really helps.
Yeah.
I was watching a show. Have you heard of the show Pachinko?
Oh, no. Someone told me to watch it the other day.
Best show.
What is it?
It's about the
It's had a really good effect on you.
Korean and Japanese history and the war. I'm probably butchering it, but it's like a drama.
Right.
Anyway, best show ever. But the main character, she is Korean and she sells kimchi and she has to go to the market. It's like her only way to make an income is for her to sell this at the market. And there's this scene where she's standing out in the market in the rain and she's like yelling at people saying like, try my kimchi and whatever. And I just got thinking, I was watching that. Imagine if we had to do that in this day and age. Go to a market and literally like hawk people down, yell at people to try our wares and our goods.
Well, you kind of do online a little bit.
That's what I mean.
Okay,
it's like we're so spoilt now that we just have to get our phones out and film a video and do that versus be there in person.
Yeah, and I think it's getting creative a little bit. Like if you are a local tradesperson or whatever and you go to a street and you quote some downlights to put downlights in, just get some cards made up. And, I know that mail's dead and no one checks their letterbox, but what if you said you had cards made up when you went to 20 Smith Street to do a quote, just while you're there, you go and see them, drop 10 cards just around, hey, just to let you know, we've just quoted in the area. We'll likely be back within the month to do some work. Give us a buzz if you want us to drop in.
Yeah.
Like,
do that 5 or 6 times. If you don't get any inquiries from it, all good. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
You get a sale.
Yeah. So I think you've got to get out there and you've got to be active, and everything is cause and effect. If you want the cause of one person calling you, if you want the effect, rather, of one person calling you, to make that happen, the cause part of the ledger could be 20 letterbox drops when you're doing a quote for downlights.
Yeah.
That could be the thing.
And I guess that is putting yourself out there, just not digitally. Like it doesn't have to be online if you really don't want to. It's probably the easiest way is to put yourself out there online. But doing the letterbox drops. It could be working with other businesses, like seeing other businesses in your area. I know one of my clients, they're located in like an industrial area. So they make sure they use their local printer down the road and they make sure that they're building a community. So when anyone in the area has a need for their product or service, they're first in mind.
We're going to take a break, and the next point I hate, and we'll do it right after this.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. But if you want guidance tailored to your situation, head to moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help. We'll connect you with one of our trusted professionals, financial advisors and mortgage brokers, who work with people right across Australia. No matter where you are, they can help. Now, before we get back to the show, a quick reminder to protect your financial life. That means having income protection sorted. It means having death cover if there's any debt or dependents relying on you. It means getting your personal insurance in order. Most people insure their car, they insure their house, but what about themselves? Sky Wealth, who support this podcast, are specialist financial advisors who can help you get the right cover in place. Their advice is often more comprehensive and better value than going direct through your super. Book a complimentary 15-minute chat at sky.com.au. That's skye.com.au, and they'll point you in the right direction.
All right, what do you got here?
Are you saying that you hate networking events?
Yes.
Business meetups?
Yes.
Oh, who would have thought?
Really?
I've learned to love networking.
Ugh.
As in, no, I shouldn't say that. I don't love networking. I love certain types of networking. I have found a few events that I love to go to, that I know I have a good time. The wine's really great. The food's really great. The people that go there are great. I have also been to a lot of really shitty networking events.
Like, yeah, I mean, I used to go to them different. I think the main thing was a lot of them were in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, so I'm like, get stuffed. But like, I think it's important to get out there and try as much as possible. I met a dude at pickleball a couple of weeks ago, and he's like probably late 20s, early 30s, and I told him what I did, and he knew of a couple of our podcasts, and he's like, oh, you're probably over it, but like, would you be interested in like getting a coffee and like, I don't know, networking and I'm like, oh, like he was knowing that I'm like,
As in he wanted to
just network with me and connect.
Okay.
But the good thing was he read the room enough to know that I'm established in my business.
Yeah.
I don't care for networking for the sake of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I also don't like when people just say, oh, can I, what is it, talk your ear? Or
pick your brain.
can I pick your brain?
Oh.
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you are asking someone to have a coffee or whatever, have something in mind.
Yep.
So then you both get value out
And
of
I
the
think
conversation.
I'm maybe a little bit different. And the first thing I said to him, like, yeah, I'm happy to grab a coffee, shoot me a message, but just to let you know, I can't have you on my podcast because I've got some other commercial arrangements in place.
Yeah.
And that's what, some people want to meet up with me
Yeah.
to try and get on my show,
Yeah.
which is fine. But, yeah, you've just got to get out there and just read the room. Like, desperate people do dumb things.
Oh, yeah. Never go to a networking event with the goal of making a sale.
There's a local networking event that happens at a local cafe that I have breakfast at. I think it's like one Thursday a month or something. And often because I'll have breakfast there quite a bit. So one morning I rocked up having my brekkie. I knew someone there who'd listened to the podcast and he's trying to convince me to come to this event. I'm like, not interested. Like, never. I don't, like, number one, I run an online national business. I don't need to network with local business owners.
I have built my business, so I don't have to do that.
It's not being arrogant. It's just like, it's a waste of my time to talk to local business owners. And, actually, one of the people there that I met, she's been on the podcast and that's been awesome. But yeah, I don't do network events. Anyway, all that to say, I'm trying to leave this place. So I go down into the gauntlet, into the room to just grab someone and be like, hey, how are you? Like, thanks. And this guy latches onto me thinking I was there. He's like, oh, hey, I'm Dave. I do this. And he gave me his card. I'm like, oh, no, like, I'm not here. And he's trying to sell me on his services. Like, bro, back off.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Like, I don't want your card. I'll email you. If I'm interested, don't worry. I'll track you down.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to kiss a lot of frogs, and whether it is letterbox drops, whether it is the networking, whether it is different meetups, whether it is LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever that is, you've got to try a whole heap.
Yeah, and find what works for you.
Yeah. What do we got next?
So with all of this stuff, if say you're posting on TikTok, on Instagram, you're going to networking events, whatnot, just make sure you have somewhere to send these people if you do meet them. So that could be your website. It could be sign up to my email newsletter, follow me on Instagram. Make sure you're going to all this effort to put yourself out there. Make sure there's somewhere, a destination to send these people to.
Yeah, because it's like that whole thing as well. It's like people spend all this money to get, leads and whatnot on their website, and then I send an inquiry because I legitimately want your services, and no one calls me back.
Yeah.
So this is
And chances
hygiene.
are all the people that you are meeting at these networking events or who are seeing your content don't necessarily need your product or service right now. So it's good that you can send them to a website or an email newsletter or something, so then when they do need you, you're front of mind.
Yeah. I added a point here with a question mark, and this is obviously business dependent and whatnot, but I believe it does work. Can you use your car as some type of advertising?
Absolutely.
it's a presence thing in the local area. You know, just go to Vistaprint or whatever, get magnets made for the side, get something on the back window. And you just never know. Like I was pulling up for a coffee a couple of months ago when I was building the studio and I needed this type of trades person. Couldn't find someone, rocked up behind. It was this Ford Ranger with the exact commercial thing. I'm like, duh.
I've done the exact same thing. I've needed a painter for my apartment building and I was having coffee and I was like, I need a painter.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, in front of me, there was a van with a number for a painter.
So that could be an option as well.
Just make sure that your car's not maybe like messy and beat up. That's not a good look.
Yeah. Or like cutting
unless
people
your
off.
ideal client is.
Yeah. Yep. Now, point 7.
Yeah, what is this you have here?
So I've put COI, and this is kind of networking turned up to 11.
Okay.
And that's centers of influence. Mm-hmm. So particularly when I was starting my business, I spent and I've shared this a million times, I spent the first year, I talked with 40 other professional businesses asking them to send me clients. So rather than trying to cold call 40 individual people, I wanted to focus my energy on organizations and businesses that could send me clients. Now, what that does, it's a couple of things. You get to know the professional. You can spend your energy on that relationship. And for example, say you are your social media management arm of the business, or you want to do social media management.
Yep.
Can you connect with a whole heap of local accountants who have small business owners as clients and say, hey, if you're ever talking to any of your business clients and they talk about wanting to get more revenue, or can you send them to me?
Mm-hmm. We actually do have an accountant who sends us clients.
Yeah, and that's right.
Exactly what we've done.
And then what you do is like, yep, I'll look after the client. I can let you know where we're at. Mm-hmm. I won't farm them out to another accountant. So in my business, I got to the point where I had a variety of different companies that would send me clients. And
you would have had pre-existing relationships with those companies?
No.
Okay.
No, because I was working in Sydney commuting from the Central Coast. I had to go out, spent the first year talking to over 40 lawyers, accountants, mortgage brokers, to like, yep, I'm doing this financial advice stuff. Mm-hmm. If you ever want to send me a client, here's my details. I'll ring fence them. They'll be looked after. I won't do anything crazy. I'll keep you in the process, in the loop.
Yep.
So it's just a really good way to get clients.
Yep. And you would be surprised the amount of businesses who are more than happy to do that. Like even in my own business, if they're, what's in a good, like SEO, for example. Like we don't do SEO, but we get a lot of inquiries for it and we have an SEO partner who we refer them to, and it keeps the client happy. And it also, I guess it kind of makes you look good that you know someone in the space as well. So it just, you'll be surprised at how many businesses are more than happy to refer you or recommend you because it helps them, it helps the client, keeps the customer happy, win-win.
And another tip, for example, if you are, I'll give you an example. If you're a lawn person and you want to get leads from a few property managers and real estate agent businesses, go in there, be like, hey, let me mow your lawn, no cost. I'll show you how good I am. Mm-hmm. Or if you do social media and you want clients from that accountant, hey, let us manage your social media, or we'll sit down, I'll give you a heap of tips so you can get a feel how we work.
Yeah.
So it gives you confidence.
Yeah.
A lot of my referral partners ended up becoming clients as well. So you got buy-in that they knew the value that you brought.
Yeah, really good point.
So look, there's, how to find your first 10 clients without ads, any way possible is the answer. And you've got to try anything legally possible. So, do you want to do a recap of our list and we'll wrap it up?
Yeah. So before you do anything, make sure you have an elevator pitch. That's what do you do, for who and why. And it's really important to keep that ideal client in mind as well. Reach out to your network with a mini offer and ensure it's a win-win, so they're getting something and you're getting something as well. Put yourself out there, whether that's networking events, business meetups, creating content on LinkedIn, Instagram, depending on your industry. And make sure you have somewhere to send these people when you meet them. So make sure you've got a website, make sure you've got an email newsletter or an Instagram profile or something so you can stay front of mind for all of these people that you're meeting. If you've got a car and you've got a logo, chuck it on there.
Yeah.
And reach out to centers of influence and see if they can generate clients for you.
And also think outside of the square. Can you get relationships with people who are talking to lots of people? I'm thinking, do you know the local hairdresser or barber?
Yeah.
Who's talking to so many people every day?
Yeah.
Let them know.
The local barista.
The local barista. I don't know. You've just got to, particularly if you're in a business that you want to serve your local community on a physical face-to-face or physical product or service, it's the same as, or if you're an online only, you're on LinkedIn. You're reaching out to every podcast to try and get on and say, hey, can I come in and talk about this?
Yeah.
You're reaching out, can I write a guest blog? Can I do, you've got to put energy and activity in.
Yeah.
And that energy and activity may need to happen for the first 3 years.
Yeah.
Before you get to the point where you're so well known and the work just comes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, those first 10 clients are going to take a big hustle, and I think you need to be a bit of a yes person and say yes to any and all opportunities until you're too busy to say yes to everything.
Well, there you go. We'll leave it there. If you want to learn more about Kayla, there's a link to her website in the description and show notes. My name is Glen James, joined by Kayla Malss, and let us know. Flick us a message somewhere. What have you found? Put in the comments on Spotify or YouTube. What have you found about getting clients or your next 10?
What is something unhinged you've done to get a customer? I'd love to know.
Yes. Love that.
Let's put that in the Facebook group.
Yeah. All right, friends. Bye.
Bye.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glen James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds financial services license 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective license holders.